Greetings, fellow farmers. Rodamont here. Thank you for tuning in to Vintage Story Primitive Survival. Episode 53, Building a Pontoon Papyrus Farm. Let's go and determine another focus, if you want to vote. For agriculture, we could expand the farm to start to grow more vegetables rather than grains, or go after fruit trees, because I really haven't been doing a lot of fruit tree stuff. For hunting, if you want me to continue hunt, we would just continue on the butchery runs. I'm actually sort of curious if I can't smoke the almost spoiled meat and to reset its timer. But fish can't be. Okay. Or, yeah. I do a pumpkin patch. The only problem with the pumpkin patch is, like, I don't actually have enough... I only have one pumpkin seed, so it wouldn't amount to very much. For tools, weapons, and armor, that one's kind of obvious. We would want to start processing the... the iron that we have to get at least an iron pick going. Because, like, that's kind of a big deal. Snarf, thank you for the resub. And I think instead of making another batch of food, I'll eat the soybean pie. That will be my sustenance for now. Well, I think what I'll do is manually grind the last 3 lime so I can just be done with it. Papyrus can also, yeah, if we do agriculture, Papyrus can also be a sub-option as well. It would be a breakout poll like I usually have. Oh, yeah, I could have... Well, let's unbury it and just put the angle gear right on top. That makes a bit more sense. Still buried, but not too deep. No, not like that. That works. I like it. For now. Alright, looks like agriculture is going to be the call. So let's decide specifically what that means. So what to do next? Plant orchards. Make papyrus fields. Expand the farm. I think those are the 3 most reasonable. I could also make fertilizer. So, those 4. Check it up on the farm. We have a bunch of 8 to 9 flax and 8 to 10 rice, 8 to 9 spelt, 8 to 9 amaranth. So we're gonna have a lot of grain really soon. I'm hoping that the wind speed picks back up so that we can start milling. It'd be cool if you looked here, it would tell you like how windy it is, like in general terms, because you know how rainy it is, you know the temperature, but you don't know the wind speed. Not until the game, not until you like look at a windmill blade or like corn or something. Mill, you know, moving corn, etc. Cattails would be nice for bandages. Cattails are made of horsetail, not, bandages are made of horsetail, not cattail. Cattail is no different than papyrus, functionally speaking. A windsock would be cool? Yeah, exactly. Doesn't have to be complicated. There's probably a mod for windsock. I know there's a mod for, like, a lot more environmental data. I've seen that one. Oh, yeah, this should be in there. Because we have like one more hour for the... So that I do not forget, let's grab 5 more oak. And it looks like making easier access papyrus is going to be the goal here. Works for me. Oh yeah, there's a weak tannin. Perfect. Strong tannin now. Yeah, the status HUD not being vanilla definitely throws people for a loop, because the status HUD is like beloved, but it's not one of the mods I'm running right now. So let's go ahead and make papyrus convenient. What would you even call a papyrus field? Just papyrus field? I guess. Papyrus marsh. So what I'd like to do is to build, like, I want it set up where we're planting it in not disturbing the soil. So for the first step, we need to just get the roots. But then I'm going to build, like, a plankway. You know, I should probably grab my scythe for this as well. So the roots can be planted again. And that's the purpose of this run, is to harvest a bunch of papyrus, harvest the roots, and then place the roots closer to home for our convenience. Because it's not exactly convenient to have to go wild find it every time, because anytime we harvest our skeps for bees, we'll need to get papyrus to replace the broken skeps. So skeps, much like how the bloomery bricks, you don't get back 100%. The skeps you don't get back 100%. There's also other uses for papyrus besides just the skeps, but the skeps are one use case that I can think of that, like, will we'll just regularly need papyrus or cattails, but I'm going to do papyrus to replace. These roots don't last for... Oh no, I guess they don't spoil. I'm surprised. I thought they did. Now it looks like wind's going again. That's good. So, for my convenience, I think I'll put them in clusters of 4. You can have them more than that. The scythe's cut pattern is greater than that, but in clusters of 4, you really can't miss any of the 4. We'll cut down all of them. So it's just far more convenient that way. Unfortunately, because I had recently harvested it for the skeps, some of the papyrus is going to be hard to spot because it's in its ungrown root form. And I might not recognize it to be pulled up at a glance. And I'll put this into my 0 slot just so I know how many roots I got. I think we'll do, I don't know, 64 works. That's a good amount of papyrus relocated within the scope of this project. So we're just about halfway there. A little over. I think it becomes cattails further in we go. Yep, those are cattails. Okay. Because we live kind of on the boundary between 2 biomes. We have... This is like the jungle biome, and this is like a forest biome. Which change... I mean, that's ideal, right? If you're playing Vintage Story, living on the edge of multiple biomes is really helpful because... especially if it's multiple biomes and multiple stone layers. 2 different stone layers. I cannot stress that enough. If you live in a homogeneous stone layer, you will potentially struggle to find certain ores if they don't exist in your stone layer. So, living on the boundary of biomes and stone layers just increases your odds of being able to find stuff, ores and plants and the like. Well, we're up to 44. We did spot the cluster that was floating in the ocean. Where was that anyway? I feel like there's a lot more that I'm overlooking just because it's been recently harvested, so it's smaller. So I don't recall struggling this much to try to get 64 papyrus originally. Yeah, the cave pitfalls, the deadfall, the naturally occurring deadfall traps. Yeah, it's one of the risks of the game. I mean, I get it. It's not realistic, right? Like, in real life, you don't typically have a bunch of... Due to, like, erosion and decay, those would have been filled in with sediment. They wouldn't even naturally form like that, you know, like... But, you know, if they didn't exist in the game, it would be damn near impossible to find the ores that you want. So, like, I'm happy that they break from reality. However, it does make traversing the land difficult, because you have caves everywhere by design. And often with some of them have like a vertical drop that just like instantly kills you. Even like super late game when you're like decked out in steel, it can be like an insta kill, because armor does not affect fall damage. And then there's, in vanilla non-Homo Sapien mode of Vintage Story, there is the like glider that you can make, but the glider won't really save you in a cave situation, because the glider only really works if you're on high elevation, like a mountaintop, like a but in a cave you're just gonna go whack right into the edge of the cave and die just as bad. So bit tricky to avoid that situation. Okay, there it goes. It's like, what is it? Infinite pie? Kept munching it. Wouldn't finish the eat. Okay, just 3 more. A glider but no parachute? Exactly. And I think parachutes would be very un-Vintage Story, because like parachutes are very modern era. We've only had working parachutes in modern times. I remember reading stories about some of the first attempts to make a parachute. TLDR. Yeah, you would think that to test them out, they would just like create like a wooden dummy that weighs like roughly the weight of a person and see if it like snapped, but nope. Live human test subjects went splat, died. I suppose humans' wisdom and intelligence are separate in video games for a reason, right? Because you can have one and not the other. Oh, speaking of death holes, I don't think I've explored this one. It's very, very well hidden from the overland map. Alright, come on, Papyrus. I just need 3 more. Going in this... I might give up on the 3 more. I might just do 60 rather than 64. My luck is running out, as is my patience. I've been down there before. Oh yeah, it's marked. Quartz. I'll just run to the north and I'll get it if I run long enough. You found a geologist on YouTube? Yeah, I've seen that video as well, about the how realistic the geological layers of stone and sediment are in this game, and this game probably gets closest to real life than really any other game, I'd imagine. And it surprisingly works to scale. Their conclusion is not enough. Oh, hello. Not enough erosion. You know what? I actually have butchery bags on me. I like how its friend didn't join in at all. Just like watched the butcher. Watched it happen. Oh no, your weight is low. I'm not even gonna bother. Fatten up. I'm like staring at grain you could eat. Gain weight. Like any good hunter, killing low weight individual. Like if I killed off everything, right? I'd end up with no animals around. If I killed indiscriminately. So I'm only really killing the fattened ones. So that there's a chance for the non-fat ones to like fatten up, breed, and repopulate. Alright, here we go, finally. Sorry about the epic amount of time it took to find the last few roots I wanted, but there, we're done. Got the full stack, so let's get this planted up. And then I'll create like a walkway for it. I haven't really walked much on the northern coast. Almost all my travels have taken me southbound, where I go this way. I've almost never gone this way. As you can see, there's just severe lack of map markers and things of that nature. Just geographically, there just isn't a lot of interest. There are redwoods up there, but like I don't, unless I go really far north up to what I'm assuming this is like andesite sand, maybe? I'm bad at determining composition from color. Something like that, though. Granite sand? Yeah, it's probably granite sand, because I think this was andesite sand and granite sand, I think. And papyrus is only in freshwater? Correct. Yeah, there's... Well, no, that's not true. I did see some papyrus in seawater, but that might have just been weird. Because, like, you can have situations like this where... No, I don't know, actually. But I did spot papyrus in seawater. I'm not sure why. Maybe there isn't such a requirement. Alright, grab the grain, got it. No new chicks, just hungry. Free 4 days, got it. Then we had that, like, upset where I accidentally destroyed some, oh, one of their hen boxes. So I'll attempt not to do that again. I think what it would make sense is if I had a few more buckets to always catch blood, and then like a bucket down here to like just keep it once it's caught. Something like that. I'll have to work that out in the future. So rice grain. I don't have any semblance of organization down here. I'm just going to flop it in. Wherever it goes. So all of these papyrus roots will replant in some orderly configuration. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to maybe just by the side here, running out. I like that. That way, because I don't want it too far away, because if it's really far away, I'm not going to necessarily notice when it's harvestably ripe. So I want it like in my face. So the idea is to put them in clusters of 4. Running out this way, and I might need to move around some muddy soil to get the job done. And the other piece of it is I was going to do capox slab. Oh, right. Need to finish this. Capox slabs to sort of denote their So I think I don't have enough weak tannin to do all 7 hides, so I'm just going to do the 5 in this batch. So for capox slabs, I'm just almost out of capox wood, so we're going to need to cut some more down, I think. Yeah, I'm out of boards. Got it. We have a lot of fat if I want to make oil lamps or pelts or something out of the fat. Axles, I guess. I shouldn't necessarily use up all the fat if I need to put a lot of axles in. I keep forgetting where I put my saw. Because I'm going to need capox wood, but that should be here? Yep, there we go. Almost, because I keep it over here, it's almost like a bone saw. So what I had intended for this, and let's force it into its horizontal slab configuration, is to place them like this, with then like walkways on top. So it's very, very, very... so one, I'm not fundamentally disturbing the water. And 2, it's very clear where they're separated out. And that will go out into the depth of the pond for all of the papyrus that I want planted. You know, I could actually plant it on the other side too. Maybe I'll do that. Because realistically, the runoff from farming would be sort of fertilizer rich. Role-playing here, of course. Meaning that there's some synergy here, right? That's the whole idea of, like, aquaponics and where you use fish and plants as in synergy. So we just need to cut down a capox tree to continue this. I think my best bet is to find one to the south. Absolutely. Now we do have, where were those like 2x2 massive capox So we found them before, but I forget. I never marked them down. Not that I wouldn't need to. There we go. And then for the first time, I'll incorporate pathing too. I intended to eventually like path up everything, but I'm not going to do that unless it gets voted on. But for this project, I can. It's going to look a little weird. I think I won't connect it out all the way to where the furrowed farmland is, for fear that I'll disrupt the flow of the water. I'm not 100% sure that that's what would happen, but I'm not willing to find out. So it's sort of like a pontoon style, I guess. Little odd. I'm sure no one actually plants them like this IRL, but that's the design I had in mind. Oops. Then I'll have to grab muddy soil, but I don't want to necessarily dig up my own pond, so I'll find muddy soil elsewhere to transport here to finish the idea. Oops, that's not right. I do nearly have a bridge to the windmill itself, true. That would be easy to complete. I intended, if the water gets deep enough, to put posts beneath it, so it looks supported rather than floating. You get at least the concept. Easy to see. So let's go get muddy soils from somewhere else, because I don't want to mess up the lake as it is. Because source water can't be moved, if you dig muddy soil from like the shoreline, it like will screw things up. Oh, and I also just like nuked one of the papyrus roots there. Whatever. Oh, come on. Yeah, this is what I was referencing. It's like, it changes the level of the water if you mess with it too much. Come on. My character is like auto-floating. I think it can't stay submerged for some reason. In that one spot. So, Crafty, to answer your question, blocks don't change types. Like, voxels. So you can have, like, a wet bow staff that dries over time, but muddy gravel will always remain muddy gravel. Sand will always remain sand. You know, for the most part. They're not going to change forms. Even if that isn't exactly realistic. I'm stuck. All right, 2 more sets, and we're done. I should have enough materials for this. And the muddy stacks look a little strange underwater, but I'm not gonna bother with that. Looks fine to me, in other words. I might need to fill it in if we do find that the papyrus, like, ends up going underwater, but I'll only know once the first harvest happens. Oop. But wait, you know what? I'll just plant that like it's wild. Because we already have some wild papyrus over there, so it's fine. Alright. Gonna connect that up as if it's supported. So there's a few other... There's some more tweaks that I wanted to make here. The pathway walkways. And then... like fence supporting as well. I wasn't expecting to kill that hog, which means I don't know what to do with this offal. I'll put it in this box to be processed, I guess. Because that needs 1 more hour. It'll be done in a second. And then... did I not harvest all the meat here? Oh, because some of it was bush meat. And prime meat. Because of mod conflicts, it's like invisible to me. Got it. So even though the smoked meat isn't all that versatile, I'm smoking it all for preservation purposes because I don't want it just to go bad. When I could have done something about it. Alright, there we go. Inventory is nice and organized again. I'll probably do all the sunflowers together when they're all mature, but these are 12 of 12. As far as the farm goes, I think that's the only that is fully mature. It's just that one spot of sunflowers. Got it. And yeah, the offal's probably done. Yep. We could make like a blood awful pie. Something like that. Instead of making them into sausages. Because the sausages were picky about what they were stuffed with, but the pies weren't. So, walkways. What I'm referring to is path slabs. I don't 100% know if... Well, we'll see. I'll put the path down. See how it looks. Thank you for tuning in to Vintage Story Primitive Survival, which originally streamed live on Twitch. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rodamont.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you'd like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rodamont.com has linked to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching. Special thank you to my Twitch subscribers, Patreon patrons, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow homesteaders.